Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm Liverpool 12th Man, and I'm just solo today, but I possibly will have a panel joining me. I know that is another hot one here in my state, so just trying to stay cool. Appreciate the company, though. Big up to Red for Life. Big up to Honesty, by the way. Big up to Honesty. Yes, Honesty's already kind of given teasers to the story that I'm going to be going over or going into today. And that is our center back search. Also, what I'm thinking is turning out to be even a center forward situation, let's call it. Good evening, Mr. Anfield Roar. How are you? I am doing better. I'm doing better and working towards trying to get full recovery. Thank you for asking. I would like to say, I hope everyone's doing well out there as well, and love to hear what you guys have to say about some of these things. Do you feel as on the edge about some of these predicaments that our team is in, despite the fact that we have obviously a good number of the core members of our returning team, our defending championship team returning. But shout out to AR, by the way. But we do have some most notable segments of the team that I've been emphasizing. I've seen now lately that more so than not, more people have been recognizing that the same concerns, especially with the situation with Konate and the likes. So it is something of a concern. I'm sure that, it does perplex you as to what we're exactly doing. So some names have been floated out there. I know Marc Guehi is still our main topic or main target. And I also know that another name has actually started to arise from the list as well. I have some interesting stuff to talk about. So I hope that everyone's well. I hope that everyone can help us, hit that like button from the gate so you don't have to worry about doing it later or saying, oh, I forgot, whatever. Trying to get to at least 50 likes on all of these episodes so we can push closer and closer to getting to that 1,000 mark and beyond. So big up to each and every one of you. Excuse me. I think I said hello. I did say hello to Red for Life. Red for Life's the first person to say hello. So I guess let's just start this off right by not pretending that we can just skate through this window without reinforcing our defense. I know our defense played decent against our last opponent, but there were times when you saw some things that we would need to concern ourselves about. There were certainly, I did a deep analyzation of the game, but it is a preseason game. But all the same, it is a game to work out the kinks, to see where maybe some of those trouble spots are, and to work those out as well. Let me see if that is been confirmed too, because that name that everyone is typing in the chat is something that, yes, I have on my list. So let me see if I didn't get it. Usually I get the notification on these players. So let me see, though, if this player's been mentioned. Let me just see real quick. I don't see. I see people mentioning the player, but I don't see I don't see anything on Fabrizio's Twitter page. I am on there now. I'm certain that it would be one of the top. It would be one of the top selections. Milan, Spain, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Villa. Tyler Morton. Shout out Tyler Morton joining. That's cool. Meeting his new teammates. Let's see. Stuttgart. Villa again. I don't see where you guys are seeing that. If you guys gotta tell me. You guys gotta tell me. I did see the so I'm looking to see. Still don't see anything. Nope, still don't see anything. All right, well, let me get back at the matter of hand. I don't see the update from Fabrizio, so I'm not doing any bombas or any listings like that just yet. But I will say that we need to reinforce it. We definitely need to reinforce it. We've gone from having decent depth at the center back to a full-blown numbers crisis brought on by contract uncertainty. I would even go as far as to say unfortunate injury-prone players being having to be utilized or having to be relied on, and it's only August, but the season starts in 10 days. Less than 2 weeks from now, we will be watching our first Premier League game. That's how you have to look at it. So Jarrell Kwanzaa gone to Leverkusen. Virgil's just missed both preseason friendlies at Anfield with illness. Gomez is dealing with yet another setback. I don't like saying that. I would love to see Joe Gomez just get a stint of healthy, fit form. However, it's been a struggle his entire career. This time it's an Achilles issue, which is not a good thing to hear. That leaves us with Konate. And as far as Ibu, as the only fully fit senior center back heading into the Community Shield, who has a looming contract, negotiation weighing over his head and all of ours as well. We need to get this in line. We need to get this in together. I would simply say, listen, if we're rotating Andy Robertson, Trey Leone maybe, or even Wataru Endo as center back, that's not exactly the plan to go into a season with and say, yeah, we'll be okay. I don't care how rah you are about the team. There's no way you'll be saying that at all. So, I just got a text from someone. Let me give them the link as well. See if this person's. Let me just send a link to someone real quick. Let's see if he's around. All right. So back to what I was saying. So what are Liverpool going to do about it? I am right there with you. I don't want to see Robbo at center half. I don't want to see. I'm not throwing a tantrum if I see Endo playing center half in a pinch. However, I am not going to. I'm definitely not going to say that I would want to see him be. I wouldn't want to see him be the center half that we have to rely on for multiple games in a row, for instance. Simply at center half, at least. So it gets us to the name that's been in the chat, the name that everyone's been clamoring about, or not everyone, but some of you have been clamoring about or talking about. And that is Giovanni Leoni. I'm interested in this name because I know this name has started to gain more momentum as the list of center halves have expanded. I know there's not many of us that actively follow the Italian league, but Parma is a good team, a relatively decent team. It's interesting to see if this center half can fill the role that we need. I don't think that eliminates us from the pursuit of Marc Guehi, but what's very interesting about this, and this is something that that I wanted to talk to you all about. What's very interesting with this, with the Giovanni Leoni, is he's young, he's aggressive, he's a player who says he takes inspiration from Virgil van Dijk. A couple of the articles I read all had him saying that Virgil van Dijk is his role model. It's like is the player he looks up to and wants to emulate. I think that's a huge statement. That's a huge statement for sure. But all the same, is it a statement of intent to be at that level? Let's be honest. There's only one Virgil van Dijk. But why I think this is interesting, again, why I think this is interesting is Parma have now slapped let me think of what that would be in pounds, because I have it in dollars. $46 million price tag. So that is like a 30 million, 35 million, something like that, probably price tag on him. I think that's a bit steep for this player. Big up to the streets who helped us out yesterday by joining me and Alante on the Liverbird. $46 million price tag. It's an interesting price tag all the same. I don't know if they are taxing us because they know, or at least they think, that we have a real need for the position. It is something of a concern to see that this player wants and would love to come to Liverpool. But again, maybe this is a little bit of, I wouldn't say projection, but you have to be a little bit cautious when it goes to bringing in Italian players, because for some reason the Premier League does not always bode well, or at least co-align with Premier League players. They just don't really sometimes. They just don't sometimes gel too well. And who we're talking about is Giovanni Leoni. I'll put the name in the or let me see if I can. Maybe I can even find you a picture of him so you can see the player that we're talking about. Let me bring up this player for you. He is wanted by a couple of teams, mostly teams that are on the upper echelon. Inter Milan, Barcelona are all teams that have been looking at this player. Let me put his name in here for you. Like I said, this is how you spell his name. And this is, let's see. Let me bring up this picture. Let me show you this. This is the actual player. So again, I don't know many people, if everyone watches Parma or not, but this is the actual player. That's the player that we're speaking on, Giovanni Leoni. Why I'm bringing his name up is because, look, we have a real need for it, a real need for this, for a player that is going to help us bring squad depth to our center half position. He's a young, talented player from Parma. He's a prospect. I'm not going to say he's a developed, world-class star or something on those lines. But what's unique about this player is that he has good, notable or good, commendable strength in when it comes to his physical presence. He's good at aerial duels. Has a good sense of the game as well. He is decent at passing, not the greatest at passing, something that he would have to improve on, especially with the way we use our center halves. It could be something of an interest of ours, because the passing from defense thing is something that has been on the scouting report, says that he does need to improve on his passing range and accuracy from the back. And Leone's current team doesn't really play from the back. That's not their style of play. So he would have to develop and he wouldn't be an outright, he's going to compete to be a starter from the very deep. He's going to have to learn the system. He's going to have to develop certain skills so he can really, really stand out. Now, what he does command is the ability to say that he has strengths that if put to the matter or put to the sword, he'd be able to stand up and defend. And that's something that we do need, because a lot of the times we've been hit on the counters or hit by teams that are looking at the width or the width of our team and finding the channels to be able to attack in, and that's something that we need to certainly improve on. And I'm hoping that this player could possibly at least shore up some of those leaks when called upon. But I'm going to speak on the fact that the teams that are in the running for this player, us, my ex-insider got a big exclusive at 10:30. All right. Looking forward to it. I should be actually still live, so definitely, Rasta Crab, please do stick around, or when you do hear the exclusive, please do share. But Parma, I said, have slapped that new pretty high figure on a player that is, again, simply I wouldn't call him a prospect, but certainly for Premier League terms would be a prospect. Let me see what the actual in pounds, that would be 25 million basically. So 25 million is what they're asking for. I think he's more of like, the reason why I'm saying it's a little bit steep is because I can't believe 25 million pounds is $46 million. But why I'm saying that is because he is a player that probably we could get for under 20 million. I know 5, 10 million doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it adds up, and it does add up, and it's a lot of money for most likely you and me. But again, it is something that we have to speak on and something that I want to discuss because Spurs are interested in him. Inter Milan is Inter are interested in him. AC Milan are circling. I know Barcelona, like I said earlier, were interested in previously, but they've kind of cooled their jets because of their situations with their budgets. You have Leone. Then we've got who's been most likely over the last month easily our main target, the team who plays in the team that we're going to see in the Community Shield, team that's still working out things with the whole working the whole thing out with the appeal that they're trying to get a better placement in Europe. And shout out to Tom, by the way. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope that you're well. It has been a long time. Hope that it isn't any longer. But that player that I'm speaking on, his name is Marc Guehi. This one makes a lot of sense to me. He's has Premier League experience. He's a captain. Still young, 24. He's out of contract next year, so this is the final year of his deal. Palace haven't received a formal official offer just yet, which is interesting. But I know that most likely we're not going to approach them until we have the real significant, understanding that the player is going to be set for a certain whatever price it is that he's going to be set for. But Newcastle, I don't understand why Newcastle keeps going for every player that we go for. I don't know if it's personal now or if it's just if it's personal or if it's just a coincidence. But Palace want, I have this in pounds, 40 million pounds. Now, some might say that's fair. Some might say, if it's only 40 million pounds, snap that up, get it done. But for a player in his last year of his contract, there are people that were saying that we should sell Ibu for 25 million pounds. I think that was the offer that we got from Real Madrid or from Real Madrid gave us 25 or offers 25 million for Ibu. If Ibu's worth 25 million, or if we're going to offer out 25 million for Ibu, which I don't think he's worth, I think he's worth a lot more than that. You've got to say that Guehi should be valued in the same ballpark. Now, the Højsund deal probably will affect, or probably has affected some of the ideas as to what they want to get. In that, Bournemouth got a nice little, got a decent amount of money. We definitely need defensive cover. I agree with you, Rasta Crab. The fact that he's out of contract is huge, though. He could be worth about 75 to 80 million, I think, when it comes to Ibu. I agree with that, Rasta Crab. But I also think that if I was trying to sell him 1 year left on this deal, I would certainly look for 40 to 50 million for Ibu. However, I know that I'm most likely not going to get that, considering that team could just say, we'll just wait till next year. Just wait till next year. But Palace want 40 million. I don't know. I believe any more than that is and should be looked at as being overpaying for a player in the final year of his contract. New name to the chat that I've seen before, Red One. Guehi should start talking if he wants to join. There's no way LFC will pay $50 million for 1 year on a deal. Agree with that completely. Is he going to do what has been reported that we're seeing Isak do at Newcastle? I don't think so. I don't think he will do that. Not as a captain. But I'm certain that he's had conversations with them. I'm certain that they've had conversations with looking to extend his contract. And if they haven't done it by now, as we approach, again, 10 days away from, we are less than 10 days away from kickoff. And I get that. He's captain. He's Palace's captain. But there's certainly something with the fact that he is still he's still waiting for a deal. And not still waiting, maybe not pursuing a deal. That's even more more definitive of what he is going through. And I believe I think he's made it clear. The one issue that is with Marc Guehi is this. Again, this is my opinion. These are all my opinions, obviously. But I really think that one issue that you have with Marc Guehi is that we would most likely have to assure him playing time. We'd have to really, really assure him that he is going to get some valuable playing time, enough that he is going to be able to continue to not only contend but feature in the England squad. Now, I think he will get playing time, whether it's rotating, hopefully figuring out a 3-man rotation maybe that you could do with Virgil, with Ibu and Guehi, with the three of them have some type of sometimes have a partnership of Ibu and Guehi, have maybe a partnership of Guehi and Virgil van Dijk, and then also obviously have the partnership of Virgil van Dijk and Ibu. But if we had those three little options of being able to rotate, keeping Virgil fresh, considering that he is well into his 30s now, I think that would be big. I don't want to overplay Virgil this year. He was one of our top minute getters last year, and I'd like to manage his minutes a little bit better. I understand that this coach doesn't necessarily like to expand on those things. He doesn't like to have, 5-6 players at a position. He'd rather have 4 players that he relies on. But he's young. He's still young. But he's old for football terms. He's getting old for football terms. Certainly that. Tom says, have to say, Guehi is staying very professional about these rumors and getting on with his job. Absolutely. That's what a captain should do. Definitely a captain should do. He wants to play. He definitely wants to play. But again, it's a real question of how he goes about playing, or what kind of minutes he'll be able to get in playing in those playing minutes. But Marc Guehi, Leone, okay, cool. There's some other names out there. And these 2 other names are names that you might have heard of and you might not have heard of, because one plays in the Premier League, the other one plays in France. The French player, he's not the French league player. His name is Jeremy Jacquet. He's 20 years old, plays for Reims. He's a center half who's also on Arsenal's radar. He is by far a long-term project. He's a player that would be a fourth. Yeah, we're linked with him. He's we'll be fourth, or he'd be like a fourth choice. I'm sure, obviously, Joey G would be ahead of him with that, even if we were to pick up Jeremy. And yeah, he might even be a fifth choice. Maybe Endo's will play before he does, because he's only 20 years old. It's a lot. The next name on my list is Nathan Collins. Now, this name is interesting when I saw it being listed as being on the radar, because he's the newly appointed captain at Brentford. He's strong. He's composed. He is respected and apparently quietly admired inside the brass at Anfield. I don't know how much or how easy it would be, or how easy or how difficult it would be, I would say more so, to get Brentford to let Nathan Collins go. Don't know. But he is a good player. He's obviously permanently proven. Brentford has been making a decent amount of money. We have a relationship. So I did say that. I said Nathan Collins. Collins, Collins. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Wow. That is rough. No love for Nathan. Nathan gets Nathan. All right. Well, here's why I worry a little bit. Why I worry a little bit is because we're running out of time and options. We need to solidify this now so that they can get. We have one more glorified preseason game, technically, in the Community Shield, a preseason game that could get us a trophy, obviously, but still a preseason game all the same. It's sort of like the Premier League's version of the Super Cup, the League Super Cup. But according to The Athletic, if you are down and out about where we are in this for center halves, maybe you can rest assured, if you are comfortable with the idea that The Athletic says we don't land a center half, we'll fall back on utilizing, obviously, Gomez when we have him fit, and utilizing Endo and utilizing Gravenberch to step in. Now, why we would utilize those two players primarily is because we've used Gravenberch before. We've utilized Endo before in preseason and in regular season games as well. And why we would most likely have the privilege of doing that is because, well, Endo is Swiss Army knife. He can fit anywhere. We can utilize him for anything. But for Gravenberch, it's because our midfield is so strong this year that we have some real opportunities to be able to there's some real opportunities to make the most of it when it comes to using some of these players that most likely we wouldn't have probably used before. Let's be honest. I can talk about that too. We have a center forward, or I have a forward position role, but I can speak on the center forwards. I see, or on our on Elliott's role too, or Elliott's position now. I do have do have something on that. Drop it. Always dropping my guys, dropping some hits on there. Let me see what you guys are saying. Diamond signed. Did Monde sign for Palace yet? We should just hijack the deal. He's a good player. He is a good player. He is a very good player. Mr. Miyagi, big up, big up. Okay, interesting. When it comes to seeing possibly Robbo play left back, I think the majority of our fans and community probably say no. However, I think what's unique about that is the fact that he not only got taken out of that scenario, or been put into that scenario, excuse me. But I would say that Joao was a player that we were very interested in, talented left back, wasn't an expensive a transfer price put on his title. We could have brought him in as a left back / left center half cover. I know some people are very, very high on the prospect. Ended up moving on to Chelsea. Chelsea have finalized that deal. So I think that maybe the reason why we didn't do that is because we now have 3 left backs on this team. One is most likely going to be going out. We have technically 4 left backs, so we play with Gomez at left back too. But we have 3 bona fide left backs, 4 if you want to count Gomez in there. And it's one of those cases that Joao just wasn't going to fit into bringing him into the mix. Definitely into the mix. But I will say this very clearly. I think that we should stick to plan A of getting Marc Guehi and have our plan B be bringing in this Leone player. I think we should go for both Guehi and Leone to shore up our coffers. Because I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else out there. I know that Diamande was being mentioned, but I don't know if there's really much of anything out there that we would realistically be able to feel comfortable about. And I get that. I mentioned that too, Crab. I mentioned that too. I mentioned the fact that, look, you have to have some caution when it comes to these players, because or from Italy at least, that joined the Premier League, because it's not easy. It's not easy for them to make the adjustment to the team. I rate him as a prospect, by the way. I don't rate him as a guaranteed starter at all. I rate him as a prospect. And I rather go in with some type of, I'd rather go into the year with some type of realistic coverage at that position, rather than, unfortunately, love Joey G to death, but unfortunately, I'd like to have some better coverage to our lineup than to rely on him. To be honest with you, to rely on Joey G. That sucks to say. It really does suck to say, but that's just the honest God truth. MM says he prefer the player from Wolfsburg as a younger center half. He looks like a solid option. Okay. Red for Life is saying, what about Van Heck? Brighton are valuing him at $43 million. Okay. Mr. Miyagi, trust. There's no one. Maybe our friend and family member of the channel, Brian, speaks of that player more than I do, but I don't know. I'd give a close contest to how much I praise Bastoni as well, and I don't think it would be an arm and a leg to try and get a price for him. However, I do think it would be not an easy situation to convince the player to join our club, unfortunately. What else is saying in the chat? Let's see. Anybody else have any suggestions? Again, the reason why I have the interest in Leone is because I just think Leone is he's not Davies. You know, he's not all due respect, Kabak, you know. So that's why I would say that I have a little bit of interest in him maybe being a part of it. Oh, big up, big up. We got Nawante, a part of the house. Big up, Nawante.
Yeah, big up 12, man. Big up for the rest of the chat. We're there. Talking about the man of the moment, Guehi.
Yeah. We've been talking about, basically what we've been talking about is our center half position right now. There's been a player that has been thrown out there as being really a possibility for us, I guess you could say. And that is, excuse me, and that is this player named Leone, Giovanni Leoni, plays for Parma.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch too much any real? Do you watch any real Italian league?
Now and then, if I'm honest, but mainly the Juves, the ACs, the Napolis of this world, a little bit for two. But this Leone again, I have no idea. Someone's going to me. I have not seen him play. I've just heard the rumors. I know he's tall, and people think tall means he's going to be a success.
That's true. Very true. Very true. There haven't been any offers for Guehi, so with this talk, it might be that this is an insurance blanket, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we need two centre backs. Definitely, we were talking about it on the on the Irishman's channel, and I mean, it looks like Palace are doing what Palace do, being hard negotiators. I mean, I would not pay as much as we want Guehi. I'm not paying 47 mil for a person who's got 1 year left in his contract. That is just madness. That, regardless of who it is. So there's other centre backs to get, and Slot has mentioned it in the press conference. So I don't want to hear the talking. I wanted them to just go get the centre backs because you know, as much as we love it, obviously VVD is getting on now, and he needs the rest. Ibu is Joey's my guy, but again, we know one season he could be fit, and the next season he could be just get niggles. So we need to solidify, just make the squad a bit more safe, have a safe blanket, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I guess we see what happens on that front, you know.
It is interesting. What do you think this is because we've allowed for ourselves to get this late in the window to find a center half? That's the reason why we're in the position that we're in, or is it because maybe we weren't expecting Ibu to all of a sudden make all these rumblings about wanting, as much money, or reportedly, as over 200,000 for his salary, and he wants, he wants multiple years, and now maybe even flirting with Real Madrid and doing exactly what Trent did to us by leaving on a free. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's just because we waited too long in the window? And
I think that a bit. I think we just prioritize other areas, and then the whole Isak thing. When really we should have kind of, probably as soon as Quads going to go, then what you need to do is you go get that guy, replace whoever it is. Guehi, maybe if they've gone earlier, or whoever that is, maybe. I think so. We're just at a pace that it's good, it's looking good, but they still need to solidify. We need to put a safe blanket on certain areas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is Guehi still your number one choice, or was he ever your number one choice?
In terms of now, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we're talking realistic, not fantasy, aren't we?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll tell you, yeah, he is, but again,
I get that. Your number one choice could be like
yeah,
or something like that,
Yeah, of course.
Right. Right. But
Yeah.
I mean, realistic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think, I mean, I would definitely, but I just think we just need to, if there's other targets, go get them, because Palace, again, they're just being hard nosed and they're quoting us ridiculous prices. So we just need to go, we just know to go and get the other defender and just sort that out, because it's worrying. And you can't be having all these players when you got you're thin at the back, Otherwise, what's going to happen? Tov, you might have to fly from Arizona and put your football boots on, because right now it's bare. It's bare.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, and big up the Japanese samurai, but you don't want him playing 30 league games in the back.
No,
you don't.
I mean, I'm a huge, Endo supporter, but there's no way I want to see Endo playing, being our center half, partner with Virgil van Dijk for like, a 10, 15 game run or something like that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, then, if we fail to sign anyone, is that a failure of planning, or is it just a consequence of the bad market? I'll frame the question better like that.
I mean, personally, I would put it as failure of planning, because they should have. I mean, last season they came at the end. There's a lot of question marks, so I would see this as bad planning, because they should have signed the prioritize. As soon as they knew Quanzo didn't want him or whatever along, and I'm sure they knew that way along, then you should go get this covered, because now, and again, it's not the end of the window, but it's every day is a day closer.
I get you. Yeah, it is. It is. LC want a quick resolution to the Isak saga so they can move on to other targets, including center half. The striker is expected to formally tell Newcastle he wants to leave this week. It was supposed to be that he was going to tell them today. I thought that it was there was being reported out there that it was a 24-hour deadline that was being put out there, at least for Sesko. And then once the Sesko verdict came through, then you'd find out more about the Isak situation. But it looks like Isak is not going to be resolved by today. And it also looks like Sesko might have a new deal being tabled by Manchester United, where they're going to possibly do a swap deal. They might do. They might make a lucrative cash deal as well. There's been multiple reports out there about Manchester United scrambling to try to bring in Sesko. It's very, very interesting. I think that I don't know if Sesko ends their drought at the striker position, but again, the market is not highly saturated with elite players that are worthy of the prices that they're garnishing. So I would go as easily to say that. How do you feel? One last question before we switch up the gears here. Would you go for Leone?
It's hard for me to say because I haven't really seen anything of him. I've just heard reports, so it's very, very hard for me to answer that question. But I don't know. I can't really answer it. I've just heard reports. I haven't seen him play physically, but we have to get someone. If it's him, then it's him, I guess.
Yeah. I know people are bringing up the whole the Edwards thing, or excuse me, Elliott thing, and I know that people are even. I've seen some people text me about Nunez, and I've seen people text me. Even I saw even one of my friends speaking on Chiesa. So since we're talking about Leone in Italian League, and we'll save that segment for a second because, or excuse me, since we're talking about Elliott, let's bring up the Elliott portion of the show. And that is, this is one of those stories that creeps up slowly, then suddenly becomes very real. And what I mean by that is Tottenham Hotspur, yes, the same Spurs that missed out on Champions League football, but have Champions League football via their Europa League win, may now come knocking for one of our own, and not just one, but Harvey Elliott. You might ask, why now? And that's because on the eve of the new Premier League season, Spurs have suffered a major, major blow. Separate from the fact that Son has decided to move on and take his talents elsewhere. He is a very big. He was their captain. He was a very big portion of their output during the previous years. Maybe not so much last year, but he was still a contributor. Their creative heartbeat, I believe, really dwells with James Maddison. And this James Maddison went down injured in their friendly versus none other than Newcastle in South Korea. It was a non-contact injury. He was stretchered off. And the look on his face, I think, said everything. He knew he's not going to be returning for some time. Now, if Madison's ruled out, we got Brian in chat too. Brian can, whenever you're ready, Brian, you can bring yourself into the conversation. If I'm trying to think, I get my train of thought back. He's been ruled out for a significant. If Madison's ruled out for a significant amount of time, and look, like I said, when getting stretchered off isn't going to be good, isn't usually a good sign. Spurs will have less than a month to find a replacement in the transfer window, And what I mean by they'll have to find replacements, because despite the fact that, yes, James Maddison didn't play enormous minutes for them, if it wasn't from injuries or the likes, or maybe just falling out of favor with Ange last year, you can't deny that he was a very vital portion of their offense. He was one of their better players on the pitch, and certainly in that midfield. So suddenly, Elliott's name is back on their radar. Elliott would be someone that would be getting playing time. He'd be probably put right into to the lineup. Thomas Frank seems to be very interested in the player. Give Me Sport reported that Tottenham have already shown interest in Elliott this summer, especially after they failed in their attempt to sign Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest. And with Liverpool's midfield depth getting heavier and heavier and making it harder and harder to find minutes, the move doesn't sound as outrageous as it might have felt in June. So let's look at Harvey's situation. He's made 28 appearances last season, but total just 822 minutes. That's less than 30 minutes per match. He had 5 goals and 3 assists, which isn't bad, but Arne Slot has definitely defined his role as being clearly shifted from the one he played with Klopp. He's no longer the Klopp era spark off the bench. He's fighting to even get on the pitch, really. And Harvey's been brutally honest about it. In a recent interview with Phil Rapp, Elliott said, quote, "If I had it my way, I would be here for the rest of my career. But at the same time, I need to be selfish. I have big ambitions. I want to get in the World Cup squad. We have made new players. We have many new players who have come into this team or come in. So whether it blocks the path for me, I'm not sure. It's something I need to look at and decide." That's not a man completely bought in any longer. It's a man who's listening to offers and thinking about his options. And let's be honest, with the slots 4-2-3-1 shaping up, and with Wirtz and with Dom and with McAllister, it's not looking good for Elliott's chances of getting into this lineup to get playing minutes. And I wouldn't blame him for wanting to play regularly, and especially in a team like Spurs where you have a new coach, you can make a new impression, where you can step right into Maddison's role, maybe even be a more consistent player from availability. I think it's a decent fit. Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you today?
How are you, man? All right, I've been on a while. Thanks for
Yeah. Always. Yeah, you guys got keys to the house, so I mean, like, you're always welcome. Should Liverpool entertain an offer from Spurs if one comes for Elliott? Or would we regret letting Elliott develop elsewhere at the age of, what is he, 20, 21 or something like that?
22 now, going on 23.
Is he 22?
He's older than Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is 20. He's about 3 months older than Florian Wirtz. So
He is 22.
Same
He's
age.
23 now.
He just turned 22. He just turned 22.
Yeah.
April 4th was his birthday.
Yeah. I mean, incredible. I mean, that's the thing with Harvey Elliott is like, people kind of look at Harvey as like he's 25. Not that they think he's 25 or 26, but he's been here so long that he feels like a player that's 25 or 26.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still a young player in almost any other. If any other team bought him, they'd be buying a young player. But this guy's been around almost as long as Joe Gomez has. Crazy. It's mad. Started so young. He's 15 years old, I think, when we put in our first bid for him.
Right.
Yeah, that's this. He's just been around so long. He feels like he must be 25. He must be this, but he's still, by any other standards, he's a young player. So yeah, if he's not look, he's not going to develop. You can sit on the bench for a year at that age.
Mhm.
You know, do it for someone called Florian Wirtz who plays in kind of your position. He comes in and he didn't get much minutes last year. So what are you going to do? Spend 2 years sitting on your arse? That's going to kill your development.
Right.
We also how good he was when he was given a shot. Look, it's the under 21s, but it's transferable to a different level. When you put him in a team like they did in the under 21s, make him kind of the main man, start him every game. Look what he produces.
Mhm.
So it's not going to happen for him here. Just go somewhere, dude. Just go and play for 2 years, and who knows? In 4 or 5 years' time, who knows who he could be playing for? But you're not going to really do it sitting on the bench at Liverpool. So, um, yeah, I suppose if and also Kulusevski. I didn't realize that someone said like it's not just Madison. Kulusevski's out for 8 months as well.
Right.
They've lost Madison for they don't know really how long they. So yeah, well, I mean, he's a decent shout, I suppose, for them. Would they give us what we want for him? He's too good for Leipzig. If he goes to Spurs in a year's time, does he end up in the same scenario? I don't know. I just want to see Harvey go and play, like be the main man for a team in the number 10 for like 2 years. Because I reckon he gets a move to a much bigger club after that. I don't think he fails anywhere unless
Mhm.
you don't play him. If you send him somewhere and you play him, he won't fail. If you send him to Spurs and they play him 8 games, because whatever, I think it might not work. But yeah, yeah, I'd love to see him just go like that Euros thing should have lit a fire under some people. It's like, look, this is the kind of guy you can have. If you put him in a decent team, he can score goals and he can make assists.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if Harvey Elliott leaves, Milante, how do you feel about the club's ability to replace that youth off the bench? Do you think that we'll be able to have a player to rely on what we did rely on Elliott from? Because Elliott was a spark for us. At least with Klopp, he's been a spark. Even when given the chance, obviously we know how well he did in that PSG game. He can be a spark. He does like to go on and make a difference in the games. Do you have the confidence that we'll be able to replace him like that for that characteristic?
Um, I think you already have, but we just got different plays for the options. You're gonna have a Sobo, you might have a Federico, Ekitike might be on the bench. I think we've got different plays for different roles, and in a different sense. I mean, I know the defender, you might have a Frimpong on the bench, so things have already been placed. It's just we have different plays for different attributes, and some might say a certain. What? I'm not going to mention his name because he's been talked about enough. He might be. I mean, who knows? So I don't think it's about replacing him. I think we've got the options, but we just got different players. It's just the fact that I've said different. I've always liked Harvey. I've said it before last season when I was a bit critical of Slot in terms of not using him when he's fun. Listen, if Harvey's going to go, you're not going to go and get me a Morgan Gibbs White. That's not an upgrade. You're going to get me a top class number 10. And we have. And it's just fortunate. I would love him, but all the best, Harvey. And like Brian said, with his Spurs, but it looks like from what I'm reading on the line, it's Leipzig, and basically they're pushing hard. They've spoken to his family, his dad, Leipzig, and they're pushing hard. I think 40 million with a buyback clause, but 15 million without. So that could be a great signing for him. I mean, great way for him to do instead of Tottenham, I believe. But let's see. All the best to Harvey. That's what I'm going to say. All the best.
He's going to have to break the curse, isn't he?
What curse?
Just the whole Leipzig curse, really. Liverpool players, people going to, I mean, Leipzig. Yeah, it's going there and thriving. Dortmund, yes. Leipzig, I can understand why he's a bit reticent about that. Um, they're just the kind of club that they're just bringing another Harvey Elliott in 6 months or something like that. I don't know. It didn't work out for Bobby Clark there. It didn't work out for Pep there. Um, I'm not
Eckers.
sure. Yeah, Basetic didn't work out there. So I'd much rather see Harvey go to Leverkusen or Dortmund than go to fucking Leipzig.
The Leipzig one, I don't know. Spurs, I think, is a better. I wouldn't want to see him twice a year, to be honest with you, as an opponent. I'd much rather see him go to a club that he can flourish with, but and be success with. But I don't want to I would like to remember him as a Red as much as possible, as opposed to someone trying to be the thorn in our side towards Premier League glory. So
I think someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think Leipzig missed out on Champions League this year as well. I don't think they have Champions League. I'm pretty sure they haven't. So I think Harvey can play Champions League football. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I think he should play. He should look for a team. He should look for a team. And also, you're right. RB Leipzig did not qualify for European football this year. They missed out on the top 6 in the Bundesliga, which is
that's poor.
Football. Yeah. So they didn't make Champions League, Europa, or Conference League.
Yeah, no, sorry, fuck this. No, they got no European football.
Nope.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I knew they'd missed out on champ. Gee, yeah, that is.
It's probably why it's not exactly his biggest, the biggest allure for him. But hey, I mean,
no, but none at
maybe
all.
RB Leipzig can help them get Champions League, or not Champions League, maybe get Conference League or Europa.
Yeah, but one game a week in the Bundesliga, that's probably not ideal. That's probably why he's kind of hard. Yeah, geez, I don't know what options he has, but look, Leverkusen was a bit obvious, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a real good question. Final question then: Should Elliott stay and fight, or is it time to just move on? And if so, would you ever accept him in a Spurs kit? I'll ask that to Milante first.
Yeah, Milante.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Sorry, or just something else in the background.
Should Elliott stay and fight, or is it time for him to move on?
Oh,
and if so, would you ever accept him as a Spurs kit?
No, it's time for him to move on because number one, Slot just not going to use him, so there's no point, and we're just kind of getting full up in the areas he needs to play. So he needs. He summed it up perfectly, and big up to Ali. In the Spurs kit, I wouldn't begrudge him, to be honest, wherever he plays, unless he was at the Manx. But yeah, I'm not problem Spurs kit. I just want to see the best of him, to be honest. He deserves it. So yeah. No, fasting is just no. But he knows. He said it. He said it in the interview. He summed it up. So there's not really much else to say, really.
Okay. Well, I did say that we were going to speak about Italiano, or the Italian job, as we call it, right? So let's talk about a story that's heating up with every passing day, and one that could see Federico Chiesa's Liverpool chapter end before it really ever truly got started. This one is layered, so definitely give me a second to at least lay down Mambo Italiano. Yeah, there you go. To lay down some of the footing here. Chiesa was brought in with hopes of obviously reigniting the explosive attacking form that made him one of Italy's brightest young talents at the time. But between injuries, late integration, and a changing tactical system under Arne Slot, things have never really fully clicked for him. He's featured in preseason games. He played in the Preston North End game. He played in the Stoke City game. The latter played behind closed doors, of course. Then out of nowhere, Chiesa was left out of the tour for the Far East. The official word, a minor issue, requiring assessment. But we all know that that's most likely the kind of phrasing you use when the transfer window mill starts getting louder. And sure enough, here comes Atalanta. According to Sport Italia, the Serie A club are circling with a 12 million euro proposal. That's 10.4 million pounds. Asking Liverpool to cover 50% of Chiesa's wages. It's not a flattering offer, nor is it realistic. True, considering Chiesa, it's not really the transfer price with Chiesa. Chiesa's making good money on his salary wage. So considering what we paid and what we expected from him, the amortization thing is going to take away the fact of, yes, we'd make our money back. However, the 50%, paying someone 50% for a player is almost saying that you don't want the player more so than you can't use the player, which I believe we could. But there is a catch, and I say, please wait, there is a catch. The deal depends entirely on Atalanta selling Lookman first. And that's where the drama escalates. This week, Lookman dropped a bombshell statement confirming he's handed in a formal transfer request after accusing Atalanta of blocking a proposed move to Inter Milan. I can read a little bit of what he wrote. He said, I've always tried to put the club, the fans, and the team first, but I now feel I have no choice. I've handed in a formal transfer request. Enough is enough. Those are powerful words. Now, if Lookman gets his move, Atalanta may come straight in for Chiesa and maybe drop the nonsense behind a lot of what he has connected to his transfer or to their transfer offer. And if they're desperate enough, Liverpool might see a change to offload a player who wants to go back to Italy. So yes, Chiesa himself hinted this summer that there was the possibility that he could stay because he was open to a return to Serie A, but he has publicly said he's happy at Anfield, and he said there's something to think about during the summer. The goal is to be ready, but we'll find the best solution for everyone. Let's be honest, there are exit ramps. Those are exit ramp quotes. However, with 2026 World Cup drawing closer, a lot of these players are just looking for playing time. They're not looking to sit on the bench. They're not looking to possibly miss out the opportunity to represent their country. He's not going to get there watching Dom and Verts start every week in front of him. So what happens now? We wait on Lookman's move. If Inter Milan return with a stronger bid, maybe Atalanta sell in case there remains surplus to requirements under Slot, then this deal could happen fast. However, should Liverpool cash in on Chiesa now, even at a reduced fee, if he's not in Slot's plans? And that's my question to Brian. Should Liverpool cash in on Chiesa now at the price and at the terms that Atalanta are suggesting?
What are they suggesting?
They are suggesting trying to remember what I said. They're suggesting
Just a number.
10.4 million pounds. The price isn't really that bad, considering we only paid something like 12 million or something like that for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they are suggesting that we pay 50% of his wages. I think he makes 120, if not 160,000, something like that. He makes six figures. I know that.
So what? So it's a loan with an obligation to buy, but for the first year we pay half his wages, and they're obligated to buy him for 10.4. Is that what you're saying?
It didn't
Because
say
how
loan
long
to
are we
buy,
paying his
but
wages for?
that's the way it sounds if we're going to have to pay for
I
his
mean, if
wages.
they're buying him, we're not paying his wages. So that
Right.
must be an obligation to buy next year, but for the first year we pay some of his wages.
We pay
Is
50%.
what that sounds like to me.
Right.
Obviously, because if we're selling to him, then we're not paying any of his wages. If it's a
Right.
permanent transfer. So that will come with a loan fee as well. That's fine. Sometimes, like I said, a loan with an obligation, that's a legally binding contract. So you've got your money, right? You
Mhm.
don't get it next year, but sometimes if you do you can sell a guy for 12 million quid, right? Or you can give them a deferral rate. Say, okay, you can loan him for a year, but then you're obligated to buy him, so you still owe us the money, whatever you do with him. But you pay a higher loan fee, so you could end up getting maybe 19 million for that guy. That's why I don't mind doing this Chiesa deal because, like you said, look, getting your money back, washing your hands on Chiesa is fine. We paid 12 million for him, we get 12 million back. Okay, fine. He wants to leave. He wants to go back to Italy, get in the Italy squad, all that stuff. Fine. Yeah, we shouldn't expect to make a massive profit on him or anything. That's not fair to expect that to happen. But I'm not really interested in picking up the check on his wages for a year unless that's just that's a money that's actually been recouped by a higher loan fee.
Yeah.
So a loan with an obligation to buy.
It's almost like a quarter of a million pounds a month, basically.
Yeah, so if we get that back because we charge our higher loan fee instead of just they buy them straight up, I think we can make those numbers work for us. I don't think we ain't getting done over on Chiesa, right? That's whatever way we set that deal up and be structured. The Italian club will come out and say, ha ha ha, we're great. We got this and we got that. But the background details would be, well, actually, no, when they pay us all our money, we'll get every penny we spent back. It's I'm not worried about that at all. You'd have to be a moron to lose money on Chiesa. We're not run by morons. No, we're run by the best in the business. So if you can make a profit out of a Chiesa, we will. Man United end up giving him away for 2 million quid in a packet of crisps. We'll make a profit off this guy if there's a profit to be made. So I just let him go back to AC Milan. Let him go to wherever he is. We've got some people now in our team.
Juve, but not.
No, wherever he wants. No, I don't think he's going to go back to you. No, I mean go back to when I say
You
go back
said
to, I
Man,
mean
you
go
said
back
Man
to.
United. That's on that.
Oh no, I was joking about United, but I just mean
I get it.
no, he won't go back to Juve. Jesus, yeah, those bridges are burned. But yeah, if he wants to go back to Italy, go back to Napoli. But I think the Lookman thing, he's gonna fuck that up big time, man, for me because the guy came out and slapped him down because he said, yeah, Adamola was right. He was totally right. He was right about this. He was right about that. And the PR team or whoever wrote that statement for Adamola Lookman on Instagram left out a very key detail in that.
Mhm.
That they had an agreement with him that they would sell him for a certain amount of money as long as it was not to another team in Italy. And that was a key factor in that agreement.
Mhm.
As long as it was not to another Italian club. Adamola just left that little bit out of it. So yes, they did now they did have an agreement, yes. But not he said the Atalanta guy came out and said we had an agreement, yes, but that agreement included a clause that he would never wear another shirt in Italy. As in it wouldn't be he can go for 40 million, but not to another Italian club. And
Mhm.
where are Inter Milan from?
Yeah.
So he left that little key detail out. And he also said that he remained loyal to the club, also leaving out the fact that he asked to leave when PSG bid 20 million for him last January. So this guy came out and just threw facts at Lookman and go, oh, yeah, your PR team did a bad job here. So this is getting real. This is a really ugly one. This Lookman to Inter Milan is really, really ugly.
Yeah. But yeah, sometimes breakups are hard to do. They don't always end up being pleasant. But maybe Lookman understands the fact that he's seeing some real success. He's seen success in Italy, and he wants to, continue playing in that environment. Just at a
no, it's cool. It's just that basically the guys put out a public statement saying my club agreed to let me leave for X amount of money, and they've reneged on that promise.
Mhm.
And the club have come out and said, yes, we did agree to let you leave for X amount of money, but that clause stated that not to another Italian club. So he's left out that little bit. So that's what they're arguing about now. And when you're getting to that point, I mean, if we're waiting on this for Chiesa to happen, cool. But just I wouldn't be banking on it because Atlanta can dig their heels in. It's not a nice deal to be waiting on. It's not a smooth deal that's going to happen.
I don't know if Newcastle is in the running for Lookman, but I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that rumor. I'll look. Lookman to Newcastle. They are reportedly interested in him. What team hasn't Newcastle been interested in one way, or what team player has Newcastle been reportedly interested in? They seemingly look to every player that Liverpool's interested in. They attach their club's name to. I don't know why, but they seemingly do. It is a rumor. Apparently, Juventus and Inter Milan are very high on Lookman.
By somebody.
But with what Brian just said, they're most likely well out of the running. That leaves Gasparini. Basically, very few options for the player.
No, he's gone. He's gone. Gasparini's gone.
Right.
I think he's already gone, actually.
No, he's gone. Yeah, Gasparini's left Atlanta after.
He's at Roma.
I can't remember the new guy's name. What's the new guy's name? New manager at Atlanta.
Let me check that, actually.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, but Lookman's like 27 now, going on 28 as well. Like he's not some young 20. Like he's been around a long time.
Oh yes, Jerkic, the guy that was managed Southampton.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, yeah, the guy that was at Southampton.
Yeah, and they were awful. Then no, there was no change. Probably about one game, and then yeah.
Oh, the guy that we faced in the League Cup game, basically.
Yeah, he was there like 5 weeks, 5 months.
I think that was like his first game or second game after he took over Southampton.
And then he was gone by the end of the season.
Yeah, I think April. Yeah.
I think they had 3 managers that season. That's
yeah.
Sounds fair play to him. He got the Atalanta job. Jesus.
Yeah, I know, innit?
I mean, that's a nice gig, man. That's a nice gig.
Jeez, yeah. I was rubbish in the Premier League, but I've managed to get back to the Italian League.
Mm-hmm.
To Europa League, winning decent, good team. Don't even narrowly.
Well done, club.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
All good.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up if he's out, then yeah.
Did you
There
see
is
the
a
Bayern? Did you see the Bayern Space tweet? 12 man.
about what?
You know Bayern Space. You know the guy that broke the whole kind of Earth stuff.
Okay.
That guy, yeah, do you remember that guy Bayern Space? He was kind of. I know you might have been a bit like off the radar at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
he made his. Did you see that about the Richard Hughes Diaz deal and all that?
No, what about it?
No, it's just. I think it's a great illustration of how well run our club has been at the moment. He
Okay.
has. This is a guy. He has he had the inside. You know, the inside story on Verts Liverpool about a month before everybody else did. So he's got like kind of inside sources. I'll show it to you there if you want to. It's just an interesting
Okay.
kind of.
Brilliant. Brilliant article.
To
Just
bring
in
it full
terms of.
screen so you can
I'm
see it.
trying to do it. 1 sec. There we go.
Yes, that's it, bro.
Yeah, I can do it if you want. I can try and read it
Yeah,
again.
you can read it.
Okay, so this is Byron Space, by the way, in case anybody is wondering who you're talking about. This is Byron Space. This is a guy who 1 month before we bought Farnborough said Farnborough is joining Liverpool, right? This was a guy who had the inside track on the whole thing. So he says, from inside Bayern, as in from inside Bayern Munich, there is quiet recognition that the Luis Diaz transfer was orchestrated entirely on Liverpool's terms, with Bayern left to follow along. Richard Hughes controlled the negotiations from start to finish, setting the framework early and never letting go of the upper hand. On Bayern's side, Jan Christian Dresen led the talks, but lacked the authority, leverage, or instinct to shape the deal in any meaningful way. Hughes quickly secured clear signals from Diaz's entourage that the player would be open to a move to Saudi Arabia in the near future. Armed with that assurance, Liverpool insisted on a significant sell-on clause that would allow them to benefit substantially from any future transfer.
Oh yeah.
Bayern, facing internal pressure to deliver a name and lacking serious alternatives, accepted the structure as it was presented. The final agreement includes a base fee of 72 million euros, with a further 9 million in add-ons that are considered so easily achievable that the full 81 million is already being treated as a formality. With the sell-on clause factored in, the total fee Liverpool could receive may rise to 95 or even 100 million euros if a high-value transfer occurs, which is viewed internally as a likely outcome. Inside Bayern, there is no denial of how the deal played out. While move is being presented publicly as a strong signing, those involved know exactly how the negotiations unfolded. Liverpool dictated the terms, protected their future interests, and extracted maximum value. Bayern, on the other hand, paid heavily, agreed to a structure they did not design, and came away with a player who may already be positioned for resale. It was, in every sense, a deal done on Liverpool's terms.
Oh.
I mean, those are the people running the show, lads. We're in good hands. We're dancing Bayern Munich around like a puppet on a string.
That's the mighty Bayern Munich.
Yes, the mighty, mighty Bayern Munich.
That's impressive.
It's incredibly impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, Great Armchair Supporter says it correct. There were people, and there were a significant number of people that not only questioned the signing of Hughes, but criticized the signing of Hughes. saying he's had no one from Bournemouth, or he's from a lowly club like Bournemouth or something. Disrespectful.
What are we going to do? Sign a load of Bournemouth players was one of the
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What's this guy ever done? Worked at Bournemouth? Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Edwards would hitch his wagon to too many people that he doesn't trust or believe in. And Edwards has certainly gained my trust. I know that. And the fact that he's reinvigorated this club's image and standing in the football world. But wow. Well, it should be interesting then what Mr. Hughes does with the situation that is building up with a certain individual that plays in our front line. I know I was asked to do some research on this one, so I did. Forward thinking is what I would like to call this segment, and that is we need a striker, or at least a forward is needed. We just spoke on the fact of I wouldn't go as far as to call Elliott a forward. I know he has played as a winger, but I don't think of him as a forward. I think he's more comfortable being in the midfield. However, Chiesa possibly on the out. And I mean, honestly, we went through this yesterday. Chiesa possibly on the way out. More likely on the way out than he is staying. You have obviously the situation with Jota, the tragedy that happened to him. Yeah, definitely rest in peace. That we are not going to have him be a part of this campaign. We have also Lucho, as Brian just spoke on, going on to Bayern Munich. We could be seeing Ben Doak leave. We could be seeing Nunez leave. In essence, out of the players that we had available to us as options last year, the only two returning players to our front line would be Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah. I know I got into a little bit of a back and forth with the streets yesterday. Rasta Crab made his first appearance on the show, his debut appearance. And in that exchange, Monte was witness to it. The streets was talking about change. We should welcome change. We need change. We should appreciate change. That's a lot of change. And these are players that aren't necessarily done and dusted. Ben Doak, I think, has potential. He's only 19 years old. Oh, there goes the streets. You call off for the streets answer back. That's a lot of change. But let's be honest, for most of the summer, it's been a growing inevitability that Darwin Nunez is possibly on his way out. Ekitike has arrived. Isak rumors have surged. Saudi clubs have been sniffing around. Apparently, they've reportedly proposed their plan to Darwin's team. They're now talking about personal terms. They've issued some type of a bid to Liverpool. And Darwin posted, but after scoring against Athletic Club yesterday, something that he's done a lot in the preseason, Darwin posted a red heart emoji and a photo of him tapping the Liverpool badge. Kind of subtle, maybe, but it felt like a message that maybe he's not done fighting for his place. But if we are still looking for a number 9, and I believe we are, I'm not disputing that, then Alexander Isak is clearly top of the list. Newcastle rejected our 110 million bid, as being reported, and they're holding firm. But there's also the stage, there's also the set stage, I should say, that if they land Benjamin Sesko, then Isak would be a deliverable resource to us. However, I just mentioned about Manchester United and that building drama soap opera. So right now, Leipzig are waiting. But for how long do we wait? And then there's the wild card, Rodrygo. Let's talk about this guy. Rodrygo has always been admired by Liverpool, even back to before his move to Real Madrid. He's only 24 years old. He's versatile, technically gifted. But here's the twist. He doesn't want to leave. Not surprising. A Brazilian in Spain and in Madrid, of all places, doesn't want to leave. At least not yet. He wants to prove himself to Alonso, despite the fact that Mbappe and Junior are locking down the wings. If he's a backup again, which all likelihood he will be, that could change. Spurs have reportedly made an offer. Chelsea are watching the situation as well. Shocker on that, to add to their growing 40, 50-man squad. Madrid may sell, and if they do, it's reported to be in between 60 to 70 million pounds that they're looking for the price tag to be. I personally am going to say this. I'm done with the Rodrygo thing. I would just like to move on and keep it moving. I say that because the fact that Rodrygo, there hasn't been the fact that if Liverpool are interested and we can offer him a gig and he isn't wanting to come here, then I'm not a beggar. And I don't need that kind of energy at the club. So I'm going to ask 2 questions, one on Isak, one on Rodrygo. Do we wait out this Newcastle and Sesko for a potential Isak breakthrough? Or are you at that stage now where you're just like, you know what? Let's just concentrate on solidifying, figuring out our front line to what we'll have if Isak isn't going to become available. If these dominoes that need to drop don't drop, then are you at the stage where you're just like, you know what, let's concentrate our efforts and our interest towards getting a center half in possibly, or something along those lines? I'll ask that to Nolante.
God, I think we discussed this also on the Bright Show. Look, for me, I've said it all along that Isak is the guy. I didn't want anyone which we should get, and obviously things have been delayed for a different reason, more and mainly on Newcastle sides, and we've got Hugo, who potential. Like I said, I'll be consistent. I'm always consistent with what I say. I'm not sold on him, not 100% on him, but he's there, and obviously you want the best. So at this rate, the Isak thing is getting to a point where I'm just like, whatever, really. And as much as Isak, I want, he's the only striker I really want. I saw out, I was like, yo, get him, So if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But really and truly, man, the centre back thing we need to sort out ASAP. No word of a lie. So, like, no, obviously, Isak, even if let's just say we don't get him, it's a bit like the VVD thing. When unfortunately we were legally done our naughtiness, we got exposed. Look, if you don't get him, we're gonna get him next summer, in my opinion. Anyway, there's too much. He's always had a fascination with Liverpool. Yes, things can change, but I mean, he doesn't want to go to Real Madrid? Barcelona don't have the money. PSG, well, maybe, but Enrique likes to play a different kind of way to fit in him. So I just feel we just go and get these two centre backs, and if Newcastle open up, they do. If they don't, so be it, and we just keep it moving. That's all.
Okay. Brian,
Yes.
if you had to, if both deals, obviously one deal is looking to be half the other deal, but with that said, if you were to pay let's say the deal's £60 million for Rodrygo, that other £50 million brings you Guehi. Maybe even brings you Guehi and Leone, who's someone that we spoke on earlier. Because maybe we get Guehi at 30 and Leone at 15, or Guehi at 35 and Leone at 15.
No, they turned down 35 from Inter. They're not giving us Leone for 15.
They turned it down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't.
Yeah, but you're not getting for 15. You're not getting Leone for 15. I like your ambition.
That's what the price was put out there in the article, being 15 million.
Well, they turned down a 30 million bid from Inter, so I don't know how we get him for 15. But
30 million euros, yeah, not 30 million pounds.
Yeah, that's stuff. Okay, look, cool. Whatever you want to do, but yeah. Look, I said from day one, you don't buy Rodrygo because Rodrygo is basically the next Angel Di Maria. He doesn't want to leave Real Madrid. He's going to cost a lot of money. He's going to come to England, to a part of the world he doesn't want to live in, leaving a club he doesn't want to leave. Going to cost a lot of money. That's so I just said, look, as a player, irrelevant. As a transfer, too many red flags. No chance I'm paying.
It was 25 million. It wasn't 15 million. It was 25 million. It's the price tag.
Yeah,
Leone's price tag was 25 million, not 15.
Yeah, so if you to me, the chances of Rodrygo working out is less than 50. I just think there's too many red flags. If he comes here and he loves it and he becomes brilliant and all that, he's a great player. But I don't want a Rodrygo that clearly couldn't be stating any more clearly does not want to leave Real Madrid. Cool, move on. We're all like, we only want players that want to play for our club, blah, blah. He doesn't want to leave. So, no, get a Fofana, get someone else. I really don't know. I don't need. Rodrygo doesn't seem like a Liverpool signing to me this summer.
He doesn't to me either. For those same reasons that you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the guy can't spell it out anymore. He does not want to leave the club that he's at. So, all this summer, it's like Frimpong only wants Liverpool. Wirtz only wants Liverpool. Ekitike only wants Liverpool. And everyone's going big on that. So this guy's like, he only wants Real Madrid.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something you got to ward against. If he's willing to even go back with his tail between his legs and say, okay, well, I'll fight for my position, despite the fact that I know that there's a rare opportunity that you're going to beat out Vinicius Jr. or Mbappe. To think that they're going to be riding the bench is unlikely, very unlikely.
But they're doing that whole thing, dude. They're like they drop him for the first 5 games of that whole thing. That Club World Cup thing, like they literally benched the guy for 5 games in a row. And then they're like, oh no, we're not trying to sell him. I mean, if he wants to leave, then we'll let him leave. And he's like, yeah, are you serious? And he's like, They're like, no, we're not trying to sell you or anything, but we're just going to not start you for 5 games in a row.
Right.
And then,
He was
but it's up to Rodrygo if he wants to leave. And then you say to the market, a guy who's clearly for sale, and then you go, but we won't accept a penny less than 80 million. It's like, nah, man, get away with that. Get
right.
away.
Yeah.
Forget. If he was 25 million with a year left on his deal, but I'm not going to listen to them go, we don't want to. We clearly trying to sell the guy. They've taken Trent from us. They want to take Ebu from us.
Right.
And you want us to give you
Now you
80
want us
million for Rodrygo that
to
you were trying to
overpay for
sell?
Rodrygo. Yeah.
No, sorry, no. Fuck you at this stage, Madrid. No,
Right.
we're not playing that game with you. No chance.
Right. I know though he wants to. What is interesting is even in the reserve role for Liverpool, he might see more time with Liverpool than he would with Real Madrid, to be honest with you. There's an argument to be made. So, I think Irishman's handling some business. At least that's how I see it. I think you could argue that. Let me see what MM said right here. MM says, also, I understand it. Rodrygo didn't want to leave for anyone but us, so was open to that. And now he says he's staying. I think that means he has been told we won't need him anymore. Maybe. Or maybe he doesn't like the role that he'll play here. Maybe. 80 million. I don't think it was that high. It was 60 to 70 million is what I saw. 60 to 70 million euros. I mean, pounds, excuse me. But that is, 80, 90 million when it comes to euros. So it is a nice chunk of change. It is certainly a nice chunk of change. But again, that's what the market's like right now, people. That's what the market is like. I'll ask you this to the chat, because I already know Nalante is going to say what Nalante's going to say. I have a feeling what even Brian might say. But we have Ekitike. It's been obvious that Ekitike has been. Oh. You okay, Brian? You okay? Feedback. Oh, you got two. Oh, wait, no, maybe not.
No, that's not. That's not me. That was Narante's.
Okay. What I was saying is, I lost my train of thought there for a second. Oh, we have Ekitike. Maybe there's a chance that we just say, let's just roll the bones with this. Utilize maybe a Ben Doak as a squad player. Go with Nunez as an option off the bench. Continue to have Cody continue to blossom on that left wing for us. Play Verts as a 9 every once in a while, and maybe move Maka or Dom into that 10 role, or maybe even move Dom into a right or left-sided winger for us when necessary. We're going to have to utilize that when AFCON comes, not necessarily using Dom on the wings, but we're going to have to find some solutions for our departing winger when AFCON comes during the winter. Is that an option that you're accepting? Isak doesn't walk through the door. Newcastle stands firm, not moving. They don't get Sesko. They have we're not going for Sesko. I know a lot of people wouldn't be interested in that. Would you be okay if we just stood pat with our options? Allow for Ben Doak to gain another year, maybe even gain a year under the tutelage of Slot. See maybe Dom develop into some of these new positions on the wing position, whether it's right wing or left wing. See Maka as a 10. Maybe see Verts as a 9. Would you be open? You guys can give me your answers too. We can go Irishman first. Would you be okay with that?
Well, you've already brought in 3 new players into the forward line.
Right.
You brought in Verts, Rio, and Ekitike. Rio is a new addition to the forward line now out of the 6. Kind of 6th choice in the front 3 times 2. Might even be, who knows?
I didn't mention Rio only because I agree. I think that Rio should be a part of the front line.
Oh, the Doak thing for me. You're saying Doak. I'm just thinking, well, that's Rio. I mean, the
Right.
young winger that can come into this. I mean, that's Rio. I mean, you do Doak. I mean, good luck. Look, Ben Doak. I mean, I love you. I think you're a great player. Blah blah. But good luck getting past Rio into this team. If there's a one young winger getting into it, then I don't think Doak and Rio get into this team. And Rio is, I mean, just Rio is Rio right now.
I don't think Ben Doak doesn't play on the left side though. He's a right winger. That's the only reason I mentioned Doak. I don't think Doak and Rio are competing for the same position. That's all I'm emphasizing. So I think
I didn't. Yeah, but I didn't misunderstand that either. I just said Ben Doak and Rio don't get into. There isn't a Liverpool first team squad with Ben Doak and Rio in it in the front 6, regardless of whether they play. I think Frimpong is your Salah replacement as soon as he goes to AFCON. That's pretty much your guy right there. It doesn't need to get more complicated than that. I think a Ben Doak is a conversation for people if they want to have it. But if you think there's enough minutes out there for Rio and Ben Doak and Salah, I think Doak is going to end up sitting there at the end of the season still only having gotten a couple of bits and pieces here and there. So
you're going to have push, not from me, but I got pushback yesterday because I brought up Rio as being someone that you could see on the 20-man team sheet, not starting. I didn't say he'd be a consistent starter or something, but at least on a selection on the bench possibly. And I got pushback to say that only cup games he should be only available for cup games.
Yes.
And other than that, he should be training with the French team, but playing with the academy team.
Okay, right. Look, okay. If I don't know who says it, look, if you're a Liverpool fan, right, and you have been, I'm sorry, I don't want to be harsh with anybody, right? But if you're a Liverpool fan and you profess to watch football and you have watched what has happened over the last couple of weeks, and you don't think that Rio is part of our first team squad, I don't know what game you're watching. Rio Ngoma is not going back to the under 21s. Rio Ngoma is part of our 23-man, 25-man. He is part of the first team squad. Anybody that hasn't copped onto that at this stage, I don't really know what they've been watching over the last couple of weeks. If you think that this guy goes back to the under 21s when the season starts, you're in for a shock. This guy is part of the first team squad now. So is Leone. What? Like, have people? Is that news to people that he's in the first team squad now?
I'll give you the modified pushback that I don't know if the streets hears me now or not, but he can maybe chime in. if he wants to even. Oh well, we're coming up on a 2-hour mark anyway. But his argument was that he doesn't believe that Rio isn't Premier League ready, and he will once he gets into that first game where he gets a real bone crushing tackle, it could not only possibly injure him or hurt him. You're going to really see that he's just not ready for this level or the physicality that is used or seen at this level. That was
Okay.
the street.
That's an incredibly
might
specific
have a
set of
different.
events.
Nalante had a slightly. I'll let Nalante speak for himself since he's here, though. I think Nalante also doesn't look at him as being a regular, or not regular starter, but a regular on the 21 or the 20-man roster.
Look, everyone's got a type of opinion.
Yeah.
Some agree, some disagree. Like I said, some like this player, some like that player. And for me, I just keep it 100%. I don't look at names, statistics, even my players that I like. I won't sugarcoat it. So with Rio, look, I get the excitement, but sometimes you have to have a balance, and sometimes for me, if he needs to be in the squad, then so be it. But I wouldn't unleash him until the following season. For me, it's way too much pressure already, and people, again, all the people trying to build her this seems the same people that say this person, this player, this defender is rubbish, this person's a world beater, just give the boy time. Yeah, he's good, but we don't know. No one's got a crystal ball. No one can tell me what he's going to be in the next 3 to 4 years. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's good, but just we've got a squad that
Delante, if you don't do that, Delante, like I said, dude, if you don't. So
But
what were you
Brian,
supposed to do? Say nothing until 4 years' time?
I'm not
If you
saying 4
don't
years
go
time,
for it,
Brian,
these
but
things,
you
you
want to
don't have
push him
to.
now, and then what if he has a stinker? What if he flops?
But Delante,
There's other players, Brian, I could name that haven't had the chance, and they haven't had a chance to blossom. But no, all of a sudden, yes, I understand Rio, but there needs to be
Rio's
there needs to be
talented.
calm on him. You know what I mean?
Brian,
All of a sudden, he's going to
I
play
don't
like
get this,
25 league games. What we
I don't
doing?
get this at all.
I'm with you, Brian, by the way, on thinking and not only wanting, but thinking that Rio will be a part of the team. I like what I see. I think he'll be. I just spoke about where's that nice youthful insertion of energy, youthful energy, and the likes that we got from Elliott when he was on the pitch. I think Rio could possibly be that spark, could be that charge that we utilize. That's what I like, and that's one of the reasons why I see it as being more so.
Look. There's opinions, right?
It's just opinions. Everyone's opinions. Yes.
Ross is out here saying, right? Oh, geez, man, you can't have like a reason. You have to be so specific and scientific in what you say these days because people's brains clearly have no room for nuance in what you say. You're not saying exactly this, and this is going to happen. We're just saying this guy's a top player. I'm sorry, this isn't an opinion. He's in the first team squad. He is in the squad. It's fucking official. He's in the first team squad. Right? This isn't he will, he won't be.
Yeah,
What I'm
he's got
talking about,
he's got a kit number. That makes that's a big,
this is what I'm talking. Exactly, he is part of the first team squad.
He turns 17. He's getting his. They're going to be
No
signing.
one is saying that means he's going to start every game next season. What we're saying is we've got one of the best young fucking talents in world football right now. He's too good to play in the under 21s. No one is saying he should start every game for Liverpool and he's going to do this. What I'm saying is when Rasta comes out and says, in an extremely hyper-specific situation, where he starts a game next season and he gets his leg broken, oh, well, then he's going to find out he doesn't like, oh, come on. What the fuck, dude? So I shouldn't go out on the street because
he didn't say leg broken, but he did say
he said he gets a bad challenge, he gets injured.
He said
and then he's going to show
solid challenge or something.
Yeah, so I shouldn't go out on the street because I might get run over by a fucking car. That's the worst. That's like take the most negative outcome you can think of and then create a situation where that would happen. How about Rasta? that doesn't happen, and Rio does what he does the other day, he comes on and within 4 minutes takes the ball on the halfway line, beats 4 players, and sticks it in the bottom hand. Why not think of the opposite version? Because that's just as likely to happen,
That's the
right?
other.
Based on his talent. Why should we just, oh, he come on, he'll get a man's game? Fuck, I just don't understand this drive to be, oh, let's imagine the most negative thing that can happen and say, don't be optimistic because you know this could happen, right? Yeah, a meteorite could land on your head. So why go to work tomorrow morning?
Oh, that's a good. Hey, I think you just gave everyone a way to get out of going to work tomorrow, but it could happen. But
Just give me compensation.
yeah, yeah.
There you
I,
are.
I gave as much pushback as I could. I
Or
said
what?
that.
No, even
I said that.
look,
I
a
said
pigeon might
what
shit on your head. So why walk outside? You know,
no.
Get
yeah,
that,
the
but
worst could happen. The
I
I
worst
get
said
could happen.
that, but we need to keep the energy in the same. I don't like. I get what you're saying, Brian, about Rio and you're high. Yeah, but again, my point is not saying. My point is not saying, oh, that he's like he needs to be banned. But I'm just saying, proceed with caution, and I think that's a fair enough to say. I'm not going
That's
to
what
go
we're all
overboard.
saying.
I'm not going to
No
go
one is out
overboard
here
with it.
saying he
I don't.
starts.
You're listen. There's plenty of players. You've got a situation with certain players, and that's fine. But like I said, I don't go overboard either way. Yeah, it's good,
What
but we'll
personal
see.
situation?
We
What
shall see.
situation?
We shall see. So
I
No, I'm
like,
not saying, dude,
sometimes you.
I'm not saying we're going overboard. I'm just saying, look, people are out here saying, can this guy get into our first team squad next year? What I'm saying is, have you not been paying attention? He's
yeah.
in the first team squad.
I
I'm not
get
saying
that,
he
but
starts every game and
I
he's the
get
next
that, but
Messi.
I understand that, and
I mean, what's
and
the difficulty?
no, that's fine. But being in the first team squad, how many players of Liverpool have said the same thing about the same thing, saying get in the first team squad,
What have I said he's
and it
going to
hasn't
achieve?
happened?
What have I said he's going to achieve?
No, no,
I
that's
haven't said
fine.
he's going to achieve anything. I'm just trying
No,
to point out to people the fact that this guy isn't going back in the under 21s. He's in our first team squad right now.
no,
And
that's
let's
fine.
just see
But
what happens.
no, I get that, bro. That's fine. He's in the first team squad, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if he plays one game. We'll see if he plays 10 games. 10 games off the bench. We'll see. That's just my opinion. But it ain't gonna. I'm not gonna. No, it's just being real about it. That's all. And
When's
if
the
he
last
does,
time you saw a better player at 16?
in terms of Liverpool, or
When's the last time you saw a better player at 16?
what in terms of what are you
Better,
talking about?
better,
Liverpool
better.
or world football?
Messi, Ronaldo. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? When's the last time you saw a better player at
And
16?
let me state this. He's not
Well,
saying that.
again, it depends how you want to go about it. If you want to be
No, I'm
technical, I
just
mean, Lamar.
interested in your opinion. Just
No, I'm
straight
just
off the
saying.
bat. It's a
Well,
minor national. Where's
Lamar,
the last time he's better?
Lamar
Ronaldo?
charisma was better than him at 16. But again, he's
Charisma.
not. Again,
Maybe
he messed his career up. But it's
what was the boy from Barcelona? Ansu.
Ansu Fati. Yeah, that's another one. But
That's it.
again, like I said, I mean,
Yeah,
also,
That's high praise. These are good names. These are top
yeah,
players.
yeah. But yeah, of course, we all want him to do well. But
Why can't
again,
we have a Lamal? This is why going. Why can't Liverpool have a fucking Messi? Why
yeah, but
can't
I don't.
we honor the next guy that like? Let's just embrace. Like I mean, let's just dream for a moment, okay? Just for a moment. Let's just dream for a moment. We, but like I said, look in terms of look a 16-year-old, 17-year-old. Who knows what's going to happen in 5 years? But right now, in terms of raw ability and raw talent, I just love watching this guy. I just love watching this kid play football, and that's what we're all here for.
yeah.
I just get it.
I'm excited about it. The fact that we have such an incredible youth, talented player that's very like us, and I haven't really had. You spoke about like a talented player. I haven't been this geeked over a youth academy player in our system since probably I think Raheem Sterling was probably one of the names I could think of that I was really excited about. Kai Gordon, I wish he had blossomed into the player that he could have been, but unfortunately he didn't. And I just think that I think the difference between him and Sterling is this kid has a knack for finding the back of the net. Raheem Sterling had the build-up process, the pace, the ability to get around players, but he didn't necessarily have that ability to finish at a high rate, or at the rate that I want to see him perform at, or any of us probably want to see him perform at. But I think this player has some real great qualities. And again, I'm with Brian on this one. I think that he's in the squad, he's in the first team. That's obvious. The coach has some high hopes for him, but he's also keeping him humble and keeping him grounded by, not gassing him up too much. I remember in the press conference, he made a point to speak about something that he didn't do right in the game, that he has to improve on. But yeah, I only brought that up because I know I said the same, and a good number of the people that responded said were very much similar to what either Galante or even the streets said, which is cup games, and that's basically it. And even with the not the injury, but the hard tackle thing, I said, so what if he gets a hard tackle? I was just saying, Brian, if he gets a hard tackle, I'm more interested to see how he gets up from it, not necessarily, like if he gets up, he goes, oh, I can play. He's like, yeah, maybe that makes him recognize that he can play at this level. You're going to take these little, shots at me. I'm a tough kid.
How do you learn then? Like, I mean, sorry, look, I love Rodrygo, but that's one of the worst takes I've ever heard.
Oh, wow.
You can't play this guy because he might not like getting tackled. He's a professional footballer. You think he's never been hit hard before? He's a guy that does tricks and shit. You don't think anyone's ever tried to fucking whack him before?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's usually
he's all of a sudden going to get to the I didn't realize in the Premier League they could tackle me. Oh, I'm going to go back into my shell and be shit at football now. It's one of the worst takes. Follow the logic through. I mean, my God, man. My God. Why can't we just say...
We're gonna have to have Crab come on to the show, and he's not part of the chat, obviously, because he would have responded by now. But,
yeah, because I was thinking when Brian mentioned Crab in his takes, I'm thinking, whoa, he hasn't written anything. I was like, where is he? I was like, huh? But no, you wrote stuff he said before. Stuff he said before. Okay.
I just rated up because
it's just the thing is, man, sometimes, when you make a point, and look, I'm sorry, I'm not a child, right? But sometimes when you make a point, it kind of in your head, you think there's a lot of shit that, to coin a phrase, goes without saying. When that goes without saying. It's like, Rio is this, Rio can do this. And it's like, and then someone goes, oh, but you can't do that. You can't. It's like, yeah, that shit goes without saying. We're just out here praising the kid for what he's good at. And then well, you couldn't start him in the Champions League final. Oh, you can't start in 20 league games. Yeah, fucking obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. No one's saying, oh, so you're saying sell Cody Gakpo? And no.
Yeah, no one's
got a brilliant young fucking footballer on our hands. Do you think we'd be like, if Rio was playing for Barcelona, we'd be like, oh, well, this, and picking it apart and picking it apart? We have an incredible young talent on our hands. No one is saying he's the future. No one is saying he's going to do this. But just watch the fucking kid play. If you're telling me you don't think he can come in and do stuff for us, then you're wrong. If you don't think he's part of the first team squad, you're wrong. Am I saying he's going to win the Ballon d'Or the next 3 times? I'm right. But no, I might.
No, we know who's going to win the Ballon d'Or in the next 10 years.
He's 3 already. Look, he's already won 3. We know this. We're chalking him now for 3 already, okay? It's whether he does 6 or 8. That's all we need to know. But this is, we're not saying this. It's just, can we just love this? If this guy played for Man United, we will be so jealous. If this kid played for Barcelona, we'd be so jealous. But he doesn't. He plays for us. And it's no wonder, though, the Chelsea people tried to revoke our scouting credentials. I'm not surprised they didn't ban us
Yeah,
for life with this kid.
John Terry made a comment about how he thinks Rio is going to be one of the most dynamic players, or something like that. Something lines up. He's going to be a real problem once he gets into the Premier League. Basically, he's going to be he's a talented player, and he's certainly one for his age. That's John Terry's making that evaluation.
No reason they wanted to fucking burn our entry cards. You know, it's like we took their best young talent, and they have, as we all know, about 1,000 young wingers. They're Chelsea.
There you go.
And we took the best.
MM's putting it. Pele played in the World Cup when he was 16. We worried about Rio coming on as sub against form.
If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Yeah, definitely. Oh wow. Hopefully, I know Crab was watching this earlier. Hopefully he sees this and he can put his response in the comments. Or if he has some time tomorrow or something like that, maybe he can come on the show, or you can go on Brian's show. Who he hasn't, Brian hasn't opened.
No, he won't come on my show. I've tried him loads of times. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and no.
Well, I don't. The streets apparently don't duck anyone. Like I was saying, I think Lalante's on mute, but the streets already have. We now know who the Ballon d'Or is going to be in the next 10 years. Who the Ballon d'Or is going to be? It's just a joke.
Yeah, I think it's 6 for Rio, 4 for Lamal. That's all.
No. Baleba. Baleba's going to get one of them.
Oh, really? That's crab shit, is it? Being willing.
I kind of coerced that into it. He said that he thinks that Baleba's potentially, if not, has the potential to be better than Rodri. I was like, oh wow, then he has the potential to be a Ballon d'Or winner. Then, in essence, that's what.
Oh, but we can't predict Rio might have a good career. We should all shut up and just put him in a box. Okay, but Baleba, who's done nothing, is going to win Ballon d'Ors. Okay, so
I put the Ballon d'Or title on it. That was me.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely trying to.
But if we bigged up Rio, we'd have to stop.
But he loves Baleba. He loves Baleba.
I get it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is
that's
interesting.
a crap, man. I don't know what.
Because Baleba's what, 21, 22 years old, something like that.
Yeah, still a young player. Very young player. We don't need him though. Adam Wharton completes this team. Adam Wharton and Isak. Obviously, we need centre halves, but Adam Wharton and Isak.
Are you being serious about Adam Wharton? Because he said Isak.
Yeah, he told. And Isak. Yeah, Adam Wharton is a perfect number 6 in this team. Absolutely.
Oh,
Adam
you're
Wharton
not being sarcastic.
and Isak.
You're being serious. Okay.
Yeah, I've been for months now. I've been talking about Adam Wharton for a long time. Adam Wharton is perfect for this team. Yeah, and Isak as well. But if you added 2 new centre halves to this team, Adam Wharton and Isak, and that just.
Why are you so bullish on Adam Wharton? We're going
because he's the perfect player for what Slot wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Deep line controller, can pass long. He's just born to play that role. I mean, he's not the only player in the world that can do what Wharton can do, but he's already excelled in the Premier League at the age that he's at. Just basically, if you want someone to do what Slot wants, his number 6 DM, whatever you want to call it, that player to receive and pass and play. Adam Wharton is the new Alonso for me. That's the guy. Yeah, absolutely perfect. If we don't buy him this summer, which we won't, we'll probably try and buy him next year.
He is
he's potentially world class. Basically.
Wow, that's a lot of praise for Adam Wharton coming from you. Okay. I'll have to watch a little more of Crystal Palace this year. I guess we'll get a good chance to see him in that Community Shield game, but Adam Wharton is signed with Crystal Palace until 2029. I can easily
It's
imagine.
gonna take a lot of money.
Yeah, they probably will be asking closer to 75 to 80 million for him.
Oh yeah, they quoted 100 about him. Yeah, they went high with the quotes. So yeah, you're not getting them cheap. Definitely, nope.
Well, we'll see. So that's how much it is for Wharton and what his contract is. It's just interesting.
Well, that is one thing actually. He won't be earning a lot of money there. He'll be earning nice, for an Adam Wharton, but he won't be earning the kind of money he would earn if he got a big move. So that'll be one thing. Definitely, he's not on mega bucks, but if he got sold for 100 million, you'd assume he would be on quadruple maybe what he earns at Palace now.
He won't wages. I don't think it'll be that much. It won't cost that much in wages.
Yeah, he won't be on
So
much.
yeah, so you can get a decent wage. So he'd be more appreciative.
And
the club, so
very close to the same price tag. I think considering Reba has a contract that goes to 2028 with an
option too.
Either one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not just there's only one player. Exactly. There's not just only Labor and Morton are both excellent shouts.
Before we bounce then, real quick. I heard this on another show by a pundit or a content creator that I like. He spoke on the fact that he thinks in this upcoming summer, not this summer, but in the upcoming summer, Liverpool will be looking to cash in on either McAllister, especially if Real Madrid come a knocking, or Gravenberg.
What?
That's what he said.
Who's this?
Lawrence McKenna.
Oh God, that idiot. What is he? What is he smoking? Why would you cover?
He's on I think Sky Sports or something like that. He's on like some type of like big budget British show. It wasn't his podcast. It wasn't or his channel. But when I heard him say that, I was like, he's like, yeah, he thinks that we're going to move on from one of our big names in our midfield
next summer.
Either McAllister.
Is he came up number 2 in disguise? That's a wild take. That is a wild take. Oh yeah, guess what, Mike? Yeah, we don't want you. Yeah. Oh, because you got works. We don't need you. Yeah, we'll get rid of you for war. And come on, man. And flipping it. He's just been, the importance he's done. You think Slot, Dutchman's going to say, oh yeah, Gravy. Yeah, thanks for the memories. Hasta la vista, baby. What a wild take, man.
I think he's more so saying that McAllister would leave because that would be him leaving because Real Madrid would be approaching to move for McAllister, but the Gravenberg suggestion, I don't know, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting for him to say Grav, but he said Grav or Macca. I don't think Dom was in the suggestion, but I think Grav or Macca were the two players. I know those are the two players. I can possibly look it up to see. Do you think is that just clickbait, Brian, or do you think that's like a possibility?
Well, everything's clickbait, but if you were to ask me to use his logic or whatever if you were to say that this Liverpool midfield loses one of those two players next year, I'm selling Gravenberch. I'm not selling McAllister. I mean, So if one
You
of
sell
those two
Maka, you
players was
sell
to go,
Gravenberch, even though Gravenberch's younger too, by the way.
I know how young they are. I know what age I'm. Like that's what I'm saying to you. If you've told me that one of those people is leaving, I can see it's like, well, okay, I'd sell a Grav. I wouldn't sell a Mac.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, I put myself in his world where one of those players does leave. I'm not
Mhm.
saying why they should leave. So, but to me, it would be, yeah, I wouldn't want to lose a McAllister, but I mean, it's like you know, there's more players in world football, right? Than
Yeah,
Gravenberch. Yeah,
yeah.
you know these people are replaceable and they're actually improvable. Some of them, you know. So we have this kind of thing. Oh, it's Grav now. You're telling me that in 2 years' time there isn't someone out there in world football that can do a better job than Ryan Gravenberch in this midfield for a fact.
I'm not saying
You
that there's
don't.
not a person who can.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
So to
saying that,
me,
but I would
That's
go as
like,
yeah.
far as to say the same caution that I throw in towards the wind.
Mm,
I guess that's how they say it, right?
real.
Is because of I think that with a lot of teams or most teams, you do like to get some fluidity. You like to get some a little unity within the team in a sense, or some
well,
whereas
no,
the
I'm
team
just
kind
putting
of blends
in
well,
his
and then
world. If we're losing one of them, sorry, no, just in his world, if we're losing a Mac or a Grav, with all those
Mhm,
things you were talking about, I think I would much rather less lose a McAllister from this midfield than any
mhm,
other player. Mac to me is probably the most important player in this midfield.
mhm,
So if it's a choice between losing a McAllister or losing a Dom or a Grav or an Endo, right now I'm keeping McAllister. I think McAllister is probably in his position top two, top three in the world.
mhm,
So if I have to keep, I wouldn't give Mac up. I know he's talking about maybe Mac might leave Grav. I'm just thinking, right, okay, if I had to lose one of those guys, I would
mhm,
lose Grav because I think Mac could be for the next 4 years probably one of the best midfielders in the world.
mhm.
Absolutely. So yeah, you could probably replace a Gravenberch if you had to. That whole McAllister thing where he just loves getting into tackles, the mentality, all of that. I just think he's such a Liverpool player,
Mhm.
plus his quality. So I would do everything to keep a McAllister even over a Grav or a Dom, something like that. Mac is vital. Mac is like Henderson, but with a shitload more technique. You know, he
Mhm.
can pass, but he has that same energy, that commitment, loves a tackle, loves to get stuck in, but he
Mhm.
has that extra bit of technique. So if you had to lose one of them, I'm not losing Mac. No way. I want him to
You could
retire.
probably get anywhere from 80 to 100 million for Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. You could sell him for whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, you could sell him to Madrid for, well, I don't know. Look, it depends, but yeah, of course you could. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's how valuable he is.
Well,
So
the thing
I'll
is,
tell him.
Real Madrid are not going to pay, even if he was. Let's just say they're not going to pay that.
No.
Real
No.
Madrid are sneaky. Yeah, they're not in the states where they used to pay this and that record Ronaldo slash Kaká in space of 2 months. They're not going to pay that. And there is a question as though, to be fair, most players, 9 times out of 10, go on Madrid and Barcelona. There is a world, and Eminem mentioned after Rodri and Maka, there's a world that they don't want to go. They're content with where they are. Hence, Rodri, obviously now, I know next summer could be, who knows? But I'm just saying that it's a world that they just don't want to go there.
You
Yeah.
don't sell a Mac, you lose a Mac, if you get me. You don't
Yeah.
sell a
I'll
McAllister.
tell you what he said too, because
You
I
might
wrote it
lose.
down. I
I'll bet
defined.
my house that he doesn't leave
He
next
said,
summer. Honestly,
I'm not. I
fair
wrote
enough
down.
of his.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, sorry, Toph, I know you're going to read something. I just said, if it's in the next 4 years or something like that, to 4 years, then fair enough. Well, maybe, yeah, that possibly could be. But next summer, I'll bet my house on it, and I'll be sending a message to Mr. Clickbait McKenna on that, because that's just, yeah. I'm sorry.
I know it's a bit of a
It
mystery.
was basically is what he said. He said, "This is up." I was going to read it for Brian, but I'll read it for you too, Nolante. Basically, and this is for the chat as well. Lawrence said, "This is me, typing down or writing down as best I could what he was saying, so I could try to quote him." But he says something along the lines of, he personally thinks Liverpool maybe with Liverpool, he thinks there is a midfielder there that will probably leave at some point. And to him, he's trying to work it out, but he believes it's going to be McAllister, or if we're going to replace someone, it would be Gravenberch. He thinks that it'll be one of those last season big three who were big for us, but weirdly, we just can't see it yet that they are being positioned to be moved on from. That's what Lawrence McKenna was saying. Obviously, Real Madrid love McAllister. I know that's a very, very typical transition for a lot of the Spanish-speaking players, is to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. But it was an interesting quote. When I saw that, it was a very interesting quote. And again, I don't know if he was saying it just. I don't think he was saying it just to get clicks. Lawrence McKenna speaks from his perspective, his opinion, his heart. So, and it's one of the reasons why I actually like to hear what he has to say. I don't agree with everything he has to say all the time. He knows that as well, considering the paragraphs I leave in his comments sometime. But small novels that I write, small op-eds that I write in his to some of his videos. But again, that was something he said. I just wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it. I don't think it's a likelihood. Vito Corleone thinks that big up. After next season, Maka will have been at Liverpool for 4 seasons. He could definitely go.
Yeah, I mean that's standard. That's just with anything, of course. That there's nothing 100% definite. But the point is, next summer, he ain't here. Like I said, I'll bet if you want to make a bet with me, Cole, I'll bet my house on it. He ain't leaving Liverpool next summer.
I've always said, Nilante, and I don't know if you agree with me or not on this point. I know because I've gone toe-to-toe with Brian, saying that I know that it's not going to be easy, or it could be darn well next to impossible, if not impossible, to be a destination, preferable destination to, South American players, because they tend to look towards Spain as being that. And it's understandable because that's a country, at least that they could be able to converse and be able to, and the cultures are somewhat similar. But I've always made the emphasis of saying that the best way to make players like McAllister, the best way to have made even, a Trent Alexander maybe preferably stay with the club, would have been, in my opinion, create a system, create a situation with the club where our setup is just better. And what I mean by that is not only just with the facilities. I mean not only with the wages, but I mean also with the outcomes that we're seeing, not only at a domestic but also abroad in Europe. Start to be the dominant club in Champions League. Start to be that club that consistently competes for trebles and quads and such. Then all of a sudden, you become a destination. You become that project seems put together. Do I want to go to Madrid? Absolutely incredible place, incredible city, incredible history, yada, yada, yada. But the foundation is set up in Liverpool for us to be winners. And I say, I like what we're doing by pushing forward with our club, what we're doing now. And I'd like to see us continue to press upon that and just always refortifying the structure and foundation of the club so that we can be a destination. That's how I see it. Give reasons. Yes. I think Vito's saying what I think. Give reasons why you put, Vito's asking, give reasons why you put your house on it, though. Madrid are the biggest destination. We win. I'm telling you, if we win back-to-back Premier Leagues, and if not get at least the double this year, if not a treble, or mess around and get a quadruple double, and win the quad, that becomes something that people want to be a part of. Real Madrid has an incredible foundation, club, heritage, all that. But let's be honest, we're winning. Eventually, rather than players being like, oh, let me go and join Real Madrid, maybe they start saying, let me go be a part of this Liverpool project, which is exactly what you saw Wirtz say. I mean, he could have went to Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich wins the Bundesliga almost.
Guess what? It was after him, Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid after Wirtz, and yet like easily the most dependable, the most like the obvious and dependable resource for German talent to go to is Bayern Munich. Real Madrid got Bayern Leverkusen's coach in Alonso. Wirtz's coach, it's a move that makes sense, but he still chose Liverpool. I like the fact that I want to see more traction being put towards that with players, more emphasis in trying to bring players in to our fold like that. That's all I'm trying to say. And once you start getting some players to really buy into the program, the more you start showing results from the program and believing not only in the process, but also seeing the success and spoils of the process. I think that you'll see more players start to say, Merseyside's a place that I need to go invest my future in. So
100%. And just to reiterate to Vito Corleone, look, the reason I base my house on this is this. I mean, again, Laurie McKenna, he's on Sky Sports certain things, and I'm sure he's another one of those ones. I've got a friend told him that this is what Liverpool will do or whatever. This is he guarantees you because he's spoken to someone. Oh, come on, man. Let's be real. All right, let me ask you this a question. When Maka came to the club, and before we knew Trent, who would you thought would have stayed long at the club, Trent or Maka? You probably would have thought Trent. And look, he's gone. Maka is still here. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to be at Liverpool for the rest of the career. No, but you trying to tell me that he's going to all of a sudden go next season? VVD, and things you don't know. VVD was wanted by Real Madrid 2-3 times. He turned them down. So, as much as Real Madrid, and don't get me wrong, they get the players, but not every player goes. Rodri, a guy who's won Ballon d'Or, he's been coveted by Real Madrid, enticed for the last 2 to 3 years for his injury. He said no. So that's all I'm saying. Mac, yeah, maybe, but he's not going to go next summer. And if I'm wrong, I'll do a formal apology. I'll write a letter. I'm sorry, he's not going next season. That's just clickbait.
All right, all right. Well, Lawrence, you do not have a believer in your take in Nolante. I happen to agree with Nolante in that is a wild take. Not the Maca situation, because I understand, a lot of South American players sometimes want to be a part of the projects that are Real Madrid or Barcelona or something in Spain. Thus the reason why when I said that I would like to see a player get our vice captaincy, I would like for that player to be Maca. I think that would be us saying to Maca, Virgil van Dijk obviously has another year or two that he'll be wearing that armband, but it could be your ascendancy to becoming our captain in the future, and that we believe that you are a part of a vital part of our team. The Gravenberg, though, yeah, that's a wild take. That's a wild take. That's a very wild take. It would have to be some club trying to blow off the doors with an incredibly lucrative bid for me to think that Liverpool would even remotely entertain that idea. I know that Gravenberg's agent put out that cheeky little comment about Real Madrid a while back. That's agent talk. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, I just don't see it happening. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe one day I could be on Lawrence McKenna's show or vice versa. He could be on this show, and we could have him, give us his opinion in full. Hook another red up, my brother. Right? It's all about community. Well, people, I'm going to ask you to do this. To everyone watching, please drop your dream front three for opening day. We're getting very, very close to that community shield. And we're also getting extremely, extremely close, less than 10 days away, if not close to 9 days now, away from the start of the Premier League. Going to be exciting. You can tell me, you can drop your Nunez haterade, or maybe your Nunez if you like. You can tell me about Ekitike and why this is his moment to be the new evolution, or maybe our version, if not the better version of Isak. Or maybe, just maybe, you're holding out for Rodrygo or even Isak. Whatever the case is, share your comments with me. I love seeing them. I love responding to them. And it does help us out. Please do drop a like. We're trying to make sure that every episode gets at least 50 likes. Would love to be able to start getting the views that some of our brethren are getting as well. So help us get closer to 1,000 subs. Help us get closer to all the different likes of makes you a glorified YouTube partner. Okay. Dustin saying Rio, Ekitike, and Salah are his front three. Okay. Don't let Nolante hear you say that. Gackers, Isak, and Mo in the front three. Okay. MM says Ekitike, Isak, and Salah. Okay. Interesting. I like it a lot. I like options. I like our team. I'm hoping for a great campaign. We'll talk more about some of this stuff. We've got a bunch of different shows that we already put together. It's just a matter of figuring out when we want to drop them. We did put together that striker. Where in the world is your striker from show? So we're going to drop that pretty soon too. So Nolante, do you want to say anything to the people before we let them go? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, well, I'll speak for Nolante to say thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you, Nolante, for joining us. Big shout out to Anfield Irishman. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please do so. Man works very hard. He's helped build this channel. He's and his channel is like in the express lane right now. It's gaining a lot of momentum with the numbers that he's getting. Plus, the views are incredible. The people that are watching his show, he should already be past our subscribers by now. And I'm not saying he won't be, but still, go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't. Definitely always show love. I know we don't always have the same opinions, but big up to each and every one of you. We will be tomorrow with another hot episode. But until then, my people, peace be with you, and up the Reds. As always, up the Reds. Take care, guys.